The St. Lucia Social Development Fund presents Sons and Daughters of St. Lucia, the Land, the People. Today's program highlights Joseph Quinton Charles' growth and his contribution to St. Lucia. Many of us will only be able to imagine the time when, for example, in 1900, Pearl Estate at Soufrière was valued at £1,500, or when in 1916, the value of Mont Coubarel Estate was estimated to be £1,400. There are people still who will remember that by 1941, the Raidway Estate at Grosley was valued at about £3,000. This was a time when large estates were trying to survive. Land values were falling and stores like Minville and Chassenay were involved in coaling, shipping lines, insurance services, the sale of dry goods, groceries and spirits, cocoa estates, investing in sugar factories, building materials and the production of soft drinks. This was a time during the 1910s, 1920s and 1930s when labor unrest was common and would result in rioting, convictions, imprisonment and even death. While coal carriers and sugar workers were striking for better wages, 26 St. Lucians were among the island's first casualties of World War I. By 1929, Wall Street had collapsed. The St. Lucian economy looked bleak. By 1933, Joseph Quinton Charles, now 25, had started his own business. Later on, he would come to purchase the whole of Shock Estate for £8,000. Born in Soufrière in 1908, he created a successful empire and, during his lifetime, received the honor of knighthood to become Sir Joseph before his death at age 84. He understood very early on that commitment and dedication were necessary tools for survival in the St. Lucia that he knew. The JQ that he created has, with its subsidiary companies, provided jobs for thousands of St. Lucians over the years and has been a major contributor to economic development. From the early days, the company was involved in the production of a wide range of goods from soft furnishings to confectionery, mattresses, concrete blocks, furniture to alcoholic beverages. Sir Joseph performed his civic duty through his membership on a number of boards, including what was then the St. Lucia Cooperative Bank, now First National Bank of St. Lucia, and the St. Lucia Banana Growers Association. By all accounts, a quiet, brilliant man, his formal schooling ended after he had completed the ordinary qualifying exams at the St. Mary's College. When at the time St. Lucia was a crown colony and commerce was largely in the hands of white planters and traders, Joseph Quinton was the example of a black St. Lucian who owned and managed a successful business with branches in Soufrière, Vieux-Fort and Castries. One of his defining features was his strong work ethic. Perhaps growing up at a time when, in 1925, elections were being held for the first time, or when St. Lucia had seen several instances of black and colored revolts, or when the West Indian middle class was emerging and pieces of labor legislation were being passed and trade unions were being legalized, it was important then to have a strong work ethic. This is the legacy that Sir Joseph Quinton Charles has left behind. Strong values that contributed to a St. Lucia that was growing and defining itself. Just as he was carving out a new respect for himself as a St. Lucian, so was he one of the driving forces pushing St. Lucia to recognize its own identity. A family man and a businessman, he left an indelible mark on the St. Lucia he called home for 84 years. A simple man who largely kept his own counsel, Sir Joseph defied the odds. Despite the economic hard times that characterized the 1940s, his unwavering approach to business and life in general gave him an uncanny insight and contributed to his success. With a strong moral compass of a wife, he armed his family with virtues of discipline, thrift, and loyalty. Join us next time for another in the series of Sons and the Daughters of St. Lucia, a program designed to highlight various aspects of the lives of people who assisted in the development of our island, St. Lucia.